Brothers and sisters, many of you would know my great devotion to Saint Charbel. I had the privilege this year of going to Lebanon and going to the holy sites of such amazing saints like Saint Rafka, Saint Khordini, and Saint Charbel himself to pray at his tomb. Today is the feast of Saint Charbel, so it's a special day for me. I love Saint Charbel because his life is so much about God. And for me, he's so inspiring. At first he was a bit of a saint that is a bit intimidating because of his extreme asceticism, his extreme lifestyle, his extreme dedication to God. But I think we need high benchmarks, high standards in our life to help us to aim towards. Myself, I feel very far from the way of his own actual life, because it was so, it's so heroic, and please God that the Lord will be able to inspire all of us to something of that dedication that he had. But he remains very much alive and present in the communion of saints in heaven for us as a witness of the primacy of God. That when God is first, and when God is really, really first in our life, things start to be ordered in the way that they should be. We make the right decisions about our life, make the right decisions about how we spend our free time, who we spend our time with, etc., etc. And there's a peace that breaks out more and more into our life. There's a peace that comes into our heart more and more when God is just really first. And God wants to fill our life with his peace and his presence. And so to do that, the right things must be in the right place so that this peace could be received. And so Saint Charbel is a great testimony to this for me. But he's also, I think, when we learn to pray in his company, in his presence, before God in prayer, there's something really gentle about him as well. Because naturally, he did very difficult things, but if he became a saint, it meant that his heart became a heart of flesh, a heart that is soft and gentle with the love of God, and yet with the boldness of courage to live the gospel, to live the way that God has carved out for us to live, but also to a heart full of courage to live justice and do the right things. So he's a heart brimming with love, as all the saints are. And that's really what will make us holy, is love. Saint Teresa of Lisieux says the best plenary indulgence is an act of love, because it purifies us, it purifies us of our purgatory time, it prepares us to be united to God, because in love we are united to God, who is love. So Saint Charbel is this amazing testimony about the primacy of God, and when God is first, things follow to play. I have a little icon here of him. And so he's always pictured with his eyes down, and it's some people who don't know him or might look at it and feel a bit oppressed by this image, but some can be really touched by his gentle, silent recollection, his recollection on God, his turning his eyes away from the world to channel that energy, that focus on God himself, to commune with God, to open his heart to grace, to be with God. Now, I want to share with you the other side of Saint Charbel, why I love him, because he's a very, very powerful intercessor, which has been attributed by thousands of miracles that have been recorded of people coming to his grave, his tomb, the oil that has come from his tomb. His body continued to secrete a special oil after his death for a very long time from his grave, and this oil healed so many people. And even when they went to dig up his remains, they saw it still fresh with blood and this oily substance from his tomb, that it used to seep through the marble of the tomb as well. And so Saint Charbel seems to be given by God for our times as a powerful intercessor against evil. And I think this is because he was also such a Eucharistic giant. He would spend hours in adoration before the Blessed Sacrament. He would prepare for hours for Mass and hours after Mass and Thanksgiving. He had a unique charism around prayer and the Eucharist, but he was often seen levitating off the ground by other fellow monks, or when they would visit him at the hermitage, they would just see him, and people would travel from all over when he was even alive to receive his wisdom, because being so close to God, he was filled with his wisdom of God. And one of the most amazing miracles, and I think I've shared this before, and the woman is still alive, and on the first of every month they celebrate like a feast for Saint Charbel, and she attends it. But this woman had a big tumor on her neck, and it was inoperable, and there was nothing she could do, and she prayed a lot to Saint Charbel. And one night she had a dream that Saint Charbel came to her in the dream and prayed with her and operated on her. And when she woke up, the tumor had completely disappeared, and she was left with stitches on her neck, which is this incredible story. And one of it, this miracle, I believe, went towards his canonization. She's still alive. It's really incredible. But this is just one of the kind of outlandish, outrageous graces of mercy through his intercession. So pray to him for your loved ones, your lost ones. Pray for him for ourselves. Help us to love God.